All right, today we are going to be talking about the use of electronics, particularly in homeschooling, and even more particularly when you are homeschooling a larger family or multiple kids. Um, Electronics can be a little bit of a tricky subject because people have so many opinions and ideas about what's best for it. I think everyone agrees that electronics or technology has benefited our world considerably. I think we're all thankful, especially if you are a parent, that you don't have to wash clothes at the river anymore, and that we have made advances in groceries and cooking and those types of things. Electronics has also enhanced our entertainment life considerably. Movies, it's fun when Jamie and I will watch old movies with our kids. We have some that we watch every year that are kind of our tradition that most of our kids love, but even just when we do family movie nights and we'll pull in a movie maybe from us growing up, it's just fun to hear the comments from the kids, because things that even seemed advanced technology when Jamie and I were kids now are very clearly dated in their techniques. So technology enhances our lives. It's come a long way, but obviously the flip side of that is that there are dangers along with that as well. Not only do our kids have access to things that nobody should have access to, much less kids, through the internet and through technology, we also know that we don't quite understand exactly how technology use impacts brain development and social skills and those types of things as well. So technology is something that you are going to have to investigate, and you're going to have to put thought and prayer and time into deciding how you feel about it in terms of what's appropriate for your kids and that. But I do want to encourage you not to completely write off technology. It's fine to do technology fasts. We do that with our kids, where we're just taking a break and we're not gonna be watching shows or just playing games on devices or those types of things. We do that either when we've noticed that we've started using it a little more than we're comfortable with, or just when we're needing to focus on something else. When we're trying to purposely draw our heart to another thing, we will take a break. So I do think that it's good to be conscious of how you're using technology, but I also think that it can be foolish for parents not to train their kids how to use technology responsibly. So, for example, our 2-year-old has much more limited options when it comes to technology use than our 17-year-old son. And our 17-year-old son, in some ways, is in a much more precarious circumstance with technology, just because of the ability for him to access things that could actually be really harmful for him. But Jamie and I believe that if we were to try to completely shield him from technology instead of training him in how to control his appetite and how to use it responsibly, that we would actually not be doing our jobs as parents. Because he is 17, he's going to be 18 this winter, and he will, before too long, be off in the world managing it and navigating it on his own. And so if we don't have the conversations, if we don't give him the opportunity to learn how to steward and manage and do those types of things, then I believe that we would be setting him up very possibly for failure when he is out on his own. Not only that, but just job skills today require, most of them, some use of technology. And so it's good if our kids can have experience with those things and be trained in those things as well. So some tips for you in how to use technology to your advantage. First of all, when I'm saying that we're training our kids and that we're helping them to learn how to manage their appetites and all of those things, I don't mean that we're just giving them carte blanche access and then walking with them as they fail or as they discover bad things on the internet or whatever the case may be. We do have a filter that we use. It's called, I believe, Circle, and I know there's lots of different ways that you guys can get filters on the technology in your home. I love this one. We get to also with it not just filter out what kind of content is available on the devices in our home, but also it lets us set time limits for specific devices. This is how much time you have access to the internet. We also can pause it. So for example, if someone's not coming to the dinner table and we know it's because they're on a device, we can just go and pause the internet, and all of a sudden you'll hear them go, "Oh, hey," and then realize that the reason that their game stopped working is because they weren't coming to the table when they should, and so now they sheepishly will come to the table. So there's a lot of good things that you can have, whether it's Circle or something else, that help you to manage safe and appropriate technology use within your home. As a homeschooling mom of a larger family, I have found technology invaluable because we go to the library often, not as often with the pandemic, but normally that's a regular part of our life, and that is amazing. But it is so awesome to have access to different things through technology at our home that really enhance our learning. So we will, watch documentaries for history or science class, for example. We will have the ability for the kids to do research at home on our computer when we can't get to the library. Also, as we have grown in number and I just haven't had as much time to do every subject with each kid, we will do some of our subjects online. So we found an online math. Not our youngest don't do that quite yet, but the other ones are all doing online math, which has been a lifesaver for me because I just, like I said, don't have the time to get in every subject with every child. And this is a great program, and it gives me the access to monitor what they're learning. And so it's been really helpful. There are other subjects that we've done online too, for example, Spanish. This has been necessary because even though I took Spanish in high school, I'm not sure that I would be a very effective teacher for my kids. So we've been able to find an online Spanish program for them to do, and you get the point. But it is very helpful because not only does it help them to learn, but it also gives me that time where I'm not having to be with them for those subjects. We have found that it's helpful even with younger kids. I have a pre-reading program that I've used with a couple of my kids where they get to use it for a certain amount of time on an iPad every day, and I've actually seen as they have how it's reinforced their letter sounds and their pre-reading skills up until they're reading. And so that's been wonderful because they love it. It gives them an opportunity to use an iPad, which is exciting. They're learning from it, and again, it occupies them. So I know where they are and what they're doing, at least for the small portion of the time that they're on that. I also wanted to share this with you. Someone gave this to us as a gift. It's called Bitsbox. And every month my younger girls get a new Bitsbox in the mail. And what it is it's an online program that walks them through learning how to code. So they're creating apps and they're playing games while they're doing it, and they're having so much fun with it. They look forward every month to getting their new box. They will ask me if they can do it even when it's not a school day, or for example, we did recently do a technology fast, and the first thing when I said we were going to do it was that one of my girls asked, but what about Bitsbox? So they really enjoy it, and it is great because they are learning a skill that I could never teach them, but that actually could be useful for them down the road, because coding is a skill that is used in so many different areas in our world, career-wise and even just for fun too. So again, that's Bitsbox, and I highly recommend it for you if you're interested. But in conclusion, there are lots of ways that you can use technology, so I don't need to give you an exhaustive list of it. But the main point, besides giving you a few things that have worked well for us, is just that I do want to encourage you, if you haven't considered technology use beyond just maybe no or yes, or feeling bad if your kids have been on Netflix a lot, which don't. I think that's happened to a lot of families during the pandemic, and it just happens, it's kind of a cycle, I think, where sometimes you discover that you're using things as a crutch and you just need to go back and redevelop healthy habits and boundaries. So don't feel guilty about it, but do be proactive, because technology is a part of our world. It is here to stay, and whether it's in your home or outside of it, your kids will have access to it. I did have one of our girls one time who was searching for something online completely innocently, and I don't know how it happened, but a picture popped up through our filter, and and they saw something, and I didn't realize it, and they were probably around 10 or so at the time, and they came to me later and said, "Mom," and they started crying because they felt bad. They felt like they had done something wrong, and it was so good that they came to me. And the reason they came to me, hopefully, is because we have that type of relationship overall, but I also know it's because I have had the conversations with them around technology and around the use of it. And so I had already been opening that door and having the ongoing conversation. And so it didn't feel completely uncomfortable or out of the norm to come and have this type of conversation with me. And because she was able to do that, we were able to walk through it, and she was able to walk away without any lasting scars or carrying guilt or shame from it, and also to be able to move forward in a healthier way and make some adjustments and all of those things. So I just want you to know, and I guess want to encourage you, that your voice in this matter actually does matter to your kids. You are the authority, you are the guiding light. Even if you have kids that are older and have their own devices, as the parent, it's never too late to begin a conversation or to make changes in your home. So if you feel like this is an area that's out of control, it may be painful for a little bit as you dial it back and try to put in healthy boundaries. Or if you're a family that you haven't had this conversation, or your kids haven't had, any exposure to these types of things, I think that you should be preparing yourself for how to open up those conversations and just what your policies and things will be as your kids do grow older, if they're little, or as they do, venture out into the world a little more on their own. Because the more proactive you can be in this, the healthier the relationship of your home and your kids to electronics. And technology, there is a lot of bad that could be said about it, or can be said about it, and rightly so. But it really can be a gift and a blessing to you as you're homeschooling in particular, to help enhance your days so your subjects become more full and your kids can hear voices beyond yours. And also they can really help you as well as you're trying to fit everything into the day, and you can't be everywhere at once and you can't do everything all at the same time. But there are tools that can help you. So don't feel afraid to take advantage of them. Just be proactive and make wise choices so that you're using it as a blessing to your family and not something that ensnares or hinders. So bless you guys as you navigate this. I know you can do this, and may your home be blessed today and always.